I was brought up in the Jewish tradition. But I did learn that Easter takes place at this time of year in part because your Holy Savior was celebrating the Jewish holiday Passover. So today, I would like to take the time to talk to you a little bit about Pesach, as it is referred to in Hebrew, and the Passover holiday. But more importantly, I want to go ahead and talk about fried matzahs. I have everything I need here to prepare the meal for fried matzahs. Now, the first thing we have to do is wash our hands. Anytime you're working with food, you should know that you have to wash your hands before touching the food. That's just the way any trained food service person would be. So why matzah at Passover? Well, matzah is unleavened bread. And as the story goes in Judaism, the Jews who were slaves in the land of Egypt were not given time to get out of the country and enough time to cook bread. So when they left, their provisions were matzah. So matzah is unleavened bread. And that's why matzah at this time of year. As you can see, I'm breaking up some of the matzah into pieces and putting them into this water to soak. The reason I'm soaking them in the water is the matzah has to be pliable. I have to be able to put it into egg batter, and that's so that I can fry it. So when I do my eggs, I'm just going to do them just like I would do any scrambled egg mix. I'm going to take 4 or 5 eggs. I'm going to crack them open just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 5. That seems like a good amount. 5 eggs. I'm going to take these 5 eggs and I'm going to go ahead and use a fork. Not that fork. That fork went on the ground. Get a clean fork. You don't use utensils. No. Get a fork, and I'm going to just beat the eggs just like I would if I was scrambling them. And the reason I do that is because I'm going to take the matzah, I'm going to fry it, and I'm going to go ahead and spray this pan with some cooking spray, like this. Turn it on to medium heat. I like to cook with maybe some butter, which means that if I'm using butter, I could not add salami to this.
Okay, I'll try.
I need a knife, and those are over here. So let me grab a knife here. So I'm going to go ahead and use just a little bit of butter in the frying pan, in addition to the cooking spray, to give it some additional flavor. Now, thing to remind, in Judaism, you cannot mix milk and meat. And that comes from a passage in the Torah which says you should not cook a calf in its mother's milk. And that's how the rabbis, the rabbinical scholars, determined that you shouldn't mix milk and meat. Now, historians have concluded that it might have also been a wise thing when it comes to modern medicine or modern cooking, because back in the day, they all had what kind of pots, pans, and dishware? Wooden. Wooden dishware is porous, and porous dishware contains bacterial elements, can hold on to things, and when it holds on to things, mixing the milk and meat could have perhaps meaning could have, perhaps cause bacterial infections to occur. So we didn't want to mix milk and meat because it was just unhealthy. Now, that tradition has continued, and it does come from the passage, thou shalt not cook the calf in his mother's milk. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take my wet matzah, and I'm going to begin to just dip it like I would French toast in the egg batter. I'm going to throw it into the frying pan just about like that. You just want to be able to get it in the egg batter. It doesn't really matter how big the pieces are. It probably should be bigger, but you know, it's falling apart a little bit. Maybe I drowned it a little. I don't know. And maybe my egg batter isn't big enough. Oops, making a little bit of a mess. I do that when I cook. I haven't cooked for a while. But here we go. I'm gonna fry up some matzah, and then I'm gonna fry up some more. Be right back. I turned up heat a little bit to medium high, and I'm just going to make the matzah golden brown, a little bit crisp, about like this. So we make our fried matzahs, just like that. And as they fry a bit, I'm going to put them on a plate so I can eat them. And because I cooked them with butter, as I said before, I won't be adding salami. I could still add wok if I want, but I am going to choose to eat my fried matzahs with syrup, kind of like eating a pancake dish. So I'm going to go ahead and get these all sizzling good. Put them a little crisp. So Passover is a time that the Jews commemorate their escape from bondage, as well as remember the plagues that God brought against their oppressors, and the miracles as well. If God had not parted the Red Sea, according to tradition, the Jews would not have escaped, nor would Pharaoh's army been drowned. So today's lesson, cooking lesson, was fried matzah, and the reason for it is it's Passover, unleavened bread, due to the escape from bondage by the Jews who were slaves in the land of Egypt. And this is because they did not have time for the bread to rise before they hightailed it out of the country and across the desert. I am Bradley Tolpen. Today is April 12th, 2020, CE. Some of you are celebrating Easter that takes place around the time of the Jewish holiday Passover. For those of you are, happy Easter. I'm sure you believe in the resurrection or you would not be Christians. I am Jewish and was brought up understanding Passover, Pesach, where once upon a time we were slaves in the land of Egypt. And God sent Moses to let my people go. I'm going to go ahead and put a few pieces on my plate here, just like this. The bigger the pieces, the more you have to cut. The smaller the pieces, the easier it is to shovel into your mouth. Although I don't recommend that. I recommend enjoying it. So there you go. That's a little bit of fried matzah. And like I said, I like to use some syrup. This is Aunt Jemima syrup, probably not kosher for Passover. I'm gonna put a little bit on it just like that. And then I'm gonna take my fork and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to enjoy a Passover meal. It's really good.
I was getting drenched in California. I lived on the street.